Hello, 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 everybody. It's Lisa Copeland. It's Monday night. And I've started a new show on Monday nights. And there was a lot of things behind me starting this show. But the big thing is I've got agents reaching out to me from all over the country asking if they can join my training. A lot of them are EXP agents. A lot of them are agents that work for other brokerages. They're agents that just need to be encouraged. And so I made a decision probably 2 weeks ago that I was going to write another book. And the book is going to be Conquer the Shift. So whether you're in the real estate business, you're in the automotive business, wherever you're at, I mean, all of us are seeing a shift in our markets, right? A shift doesn't mean a crash. A shift means, things are maybe moving 2%, right? 2 degrees. A 2-degree shift is considered a shift. And so I decided that I would write another book. So when I was in the auto industry, I wrote Car Buying Her Way, and it was industry specific. When I got out of the car business, I co-authored the book Crushing Mediocrity, 10 Ways to Rise Above the Status Quo. And now I've decided to write a blueprint to help agents conquer the shifting market, right? Because a shift doesn't mean that we're going to go backwards. A shift means we're going to do differently, right? We're going to go bigger, potentially bigger. We're going to dive in harder. So the whole premise of this show originally, when I spoke to my editor, my publisher, was that I'm going to interview the biggest and brightest minds. And these are the people that will be interviewed in the book also. So I'm super, super excited to introduce you to one of my guests tonight. And this woman is so fierce. She's so amazing. She's number one on our team. She's actually on the Elena Cardone team, but Elena Cardone is on my team. So she inspires me. And, tonight's lesson, we're going to talk about mindset. There's no way when I write this book, right? When this book gets finished, it'll be finished in 45 days. We're running really fast at it, right? Because it's really timely. So guess what I'm doing all day, every day? I'm writing. I'm getting here to my notes, everybody. Give me just 1 second. So the first chapter in my book will be mindset, right? You cannot go into battle. You cannot go into a shift. Even if it's a 2-degree shift, 2 degrees, you can't go into it with the right mindset. And the first book I wrote, Crushing Mediocrity, it was all about purpose, right? What is your purpose? Well, I feel like purpose is not the first chapter for this book. It's mindset. And I love a quote by my good friend, Grant Cardone. If it's to be, it's up to me, right? Grant wrote that in his book, The 10X Rule. And it's so true. If you're going to be successful, if you are going to thrive and expand during what the press, what your peers, what Facebook, what everything you guys go out there and you look at, you see and you read, you're going to hear the word retract. You're going to hear the word crash. You're going to hear all kinds of things. And y'all, it's just not true. It's just not true. Okay. If anything, we might see a bit of a shakeout, but for those of you that are seasoned agents out there, in fact, all of you who know agents out there, tag an agent in this, share this out. I see a lot of my team on here right now. Share this out. There are people that need to hear this show. You might not even be in the real estate industry. You might be in the car business, the insurance business, whatever. Okay. We're going to see a shift. It's just inevitable, right? Our businesses are all cyclical. What goes up must come down. What goes up must come down. Okay. I don't think we're going to come down, but I do think that we're going to kind of go to what might be our new normal for a bit, right? For a few minutes at least, right? Probably a year minimum. So this show is geared on Monday nights, and I hope you guys will, hit the button to remind yourself that when I'm on, to follow the show, to be on it. If you knew the lineup of guests I have for this show, you're going to be like, wow. But you guys know, if you follow me on social media, I know all these people. So when you think about all the people I know and the people you've seen me pictured with and the people's houses you've seen me at, just know they're going to be on this show and they're going to be in the book. So without further ado, now part of what I'm doing with this is that we're going to be transcribing this show. So I'm going to hold the questions till the end. All right. But we're going to transcribe this show so that I can get the greatest nuggets from my guests. Because again, if they're a guest on this show, they're in the book. They're in the book. End of story. Because I deem them as somebody that will help you conquer the pivot. So without further ado, this woman, just no words for her. Like, I worship the ground she walks on. She is the most amazing, dynamic, She's got grit where you, like, guys and gals, when you hear her story, and I'm going to have her open up with, because again, we're going to be transcribing and I want her story in the book. When you hear her story, where she came from and where she is today, you'll be inspired beyond. If you're out there, share this out. This is going to be one tonight for the record books. I promise you. It's absolutely. This is Lisa Copeland. The show is Conquer the Shift. We're going to conquer the shift. We're going to win in the shift. We're going to expand in the shift. I promise. If you follow me, you will. Claudienne Hibert Smith.
Oh my God, I am so excited, Lisa.
What are you doing?
I'm just excited. I'm ready.
You look like you're 21 years old. You look so gorgeous tonight. Girl. Look at you.
I am here, just blessed, amazed. Can you hear me, Lisa?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, so I was, and you were in the green room, so you were listening to the audience. I'm asking the audience to share this out because tonight somebody needs to hear this. You turn on the news, Claudienne, it's bad news. You get onto social media and people are like, oh, it's this and it's that. And I'm just like, man, and like you, I refuse to participate. I refuse to participate. I sold a house today. This isn't hard. This isn't hard. But you know what? We're going to have to change the narrative. We're going to have to do things differently. We're going to have to educate people. And for us to educate people, we're going to have to be educated.
Always staying ahead of the curve, and you're doing a great job at it.
Well, absolutely. You are, there are just no words for you. There's no words for your success and your story. So I want you to take people back and give us a couple minutes because, again, we're transcribing this for the book. I want your story in my book, Mindset. It's conquering, a negative mindset. Chapter 1. You're going to be in chapter 1 because your story is front page. It's a chapter 1 story. So tell us about Claudienne Hibert.
I always started about the age of 14, but tonight, Lisa, what I want to do is go back a little bit because I had a troubled childhood. My parents were divorced, and of the 4 children that my mother had with my dad, I seemed to be the one that went left. I gave them the curveball. I'm 9 years away from my youngest sister and 14 years away from my oldest sister. So just imagine what my parents were thinking when I got to an age where they could not really control me. And so I was a troubled child. I've got a record, it just is what it is. And I was just not going in the right direction. I remember at 14, I was going into the 9th grade, going into high school. And I remember getting pregnant. And I had that child who's now going to be 28 and who's doing amazing. So for Lisa, for 26 years, I had one child, was a single mom. When I had that child at 14, I then turned obviously 15, a couple months after he was born in July. And I remember people, my peers, I remember, my leaders in this high school, my principals, my teachers, really not giving me life, saying, you know what, you're just going to be a dropout. You're probably going to have, 4 or 5 kids by the time you get to the 11th grade. You won't even get to the 12th grade. You'll be on food stamps. The truth was, Lisa, let me see something for a second. Let me see. Wow. I did not plan this. I just said, let me look in the stack of cards. This was my Medicaid card. I want y'all to look at this. This was the Medicaid card. See, the government dictates. Actually, this is Amari's Medicaid card. They dictate where you go to the doctor. They dictate what type of care you got. And I remember being on food stamps, getting a check, getting WIC, the big block cheese. I remember those days like yesterday. And the truth was, Lisa, if I didn't change my life to go in a different direction, I probably would have been all those things. But thank God that I talked to myself. Thank God that maybe 1 or 2 people believed in me, because those were the voices that registered, not the hundreds.
Who were the people that believed in you at that point, Claudienne?
Let me tell you, the people that you are around are so important. In the 7th grade, my 7th grade teacher talked to my mother and said, listen, I know you're having a hard time with Claudienne. Let her come over and live with me. She was my 7th grade teacher that went on to move to Dallas, Texas. She got married to a Dallas cowboy, and she ended up moving, but she came back, Lisa. And that story that you hear me say, about the realtor that made about $40,000 in 60 days was from her transaction. And so she believed in me. You know, I remember she bought me a vehicle when I went to college. My mom and dad could not afford to do that for me. And so I'm just very grateful to have had very good people around me. My professors believed in me. They were amazed that I had a child, but I was still in college. We're not talking about little college. We're talking about Ivy League, University of Florida, go Gators. You know, and so I said, you know, I just made a decision, Lisa, in about 10th grade. I made a decision and I said, you know what? I am a leader. I'm a leader. I'm just leading the people down the wrong path.
They're going to follow me, but where am I going to take them?
So I said, if I could do right, I always made good grades in school. I always made straight A's and D's and F's and conducts. It was really weird. And I just made a decision one day and I said, you know what? I'm going to get my act together. I remember getting kicked out of a high school. Okay. I remember getting kicked out of a high school, Lisa. And it was crazy because my school that I was supposed to be at did not want to take me in. By the time I had gotten there, I had over 100 write-ups in the school system. That means that a teacher wrote me up. I used to throw paper at the teacher. I mean, I did it all. Okay. I was going down the wrong path. And she did not want to allow me into the school. She didn't. And I said, please allow me. I just need one chance. Miss Mary L. Henry, I would never forget her in high school. She said, Miss Hibert, why should I let you back into the school when I'm trying to clean up the school? I said, because I have great leadership skills. I just need a chance. And she gave me a chance. And I became the vice president of my class. I became, you know, I did over 1,200 on the SATs, which was remarkable for me at the time. And I just came very involved. And so, listen, I just made a decision. I knew I was of leadership. I said, if I could lead these people to go skipping school with me, I could lead them on a path of greatness. I just needed somebody to believe, Lisa. I needed somebody to believe that I could get where I needed to go. And I took a lot of risks, Lisa. I had to leave my son at home with my mother for 4 years while I went to college. And my friends tried to pull me down and say, yo, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. And I said, you know what? I want better for my mom. My mom has Alzheimer's right now. She's at the end of the stages. What if I had not taken that risk? Where would I be today? See, my mom has a caregiver at her house for 24 hours a day. And the 2 nurses that met me in my living room today, see, it's $3,000 a week, Lisa, a week for private care. I need you to understand what's going on. Man, the higher the risk, the greater the reward. And I'm here today, you know, successful, living beyond what I could ever imagine, being able to partner with you, the #1 fiat dealer in the world, not the US, the world. Like, what access do I have? And so I'm just very grateful to even be here with you today.
Well, I appreciate that. And, you know, I mean, all kinds of people are jumping on. Share this out. So, Claudienne, I've written down some questions because these are some key questions for this first chapter in the book, which for those of you who just tuned in, I made the decision that I was going to write another book. I wrote one that was specific to the auto industry. I wrote one that was specific to, I co-authored one that was specific to sales. And this one is Conquer. I mean, it's to conquer the shift, right? And it'll be a blueprint. It'll be, you know, 14 to 18 tactical ways to absolutely conquer any shifting market, mostly real estate. It's going to be real estate driven, but on any business you're in, okay? And if you've got your head in the sand, okay, don't be an ostrich during this. Like, I'm not here to tell you to be an ostrich because an ostrich won't survive. But what I'm telling you is not to be mired in fear, not to believe everything you read, not to believe the things that you hear at the water cooler, you know, and to surround yourself. And so I've got an incredible, I mean, unbelievable, the people that I get to be with every single day, like Claudienne, like Elena Cardone. And so I want you to tell the story about, you know, you had a target on your back, girl. And
I didn't even know it.
You didn't even know it.
Didn't know
you
it.
Didn't even know it. Elena Cardone and I were in New York, and we were just talking about our top leaders. And of course, when Elena and I get together and we talk about our top leader, Claudienne's name always comes up first, right? And Elena said, you know, she said, I had a target on her. She's like, I heard about her. I saw her at one of the events, and she's like, I knew I was going to get her. And like, you didn't even know that. So take us through what you had been doing for 20 years
Wow.
And just how good Elena Cardone really is.
Listen, I told you guys before, I graduated from college and I got a job. And you guys know, I don't remember, maybe you don't know. I like to call it just over broke because I realized I was making a salary check every 2 weeks, but I wasn't even living from paycheck to paycheck. Lisa, isn't that sad? I was making a check and paying bills that was 3 months due. Sometimes not even have a light and water. And so when you look at that and you think about taking the risk, I literally just quit my job, and I wouldn't do it today the way I did it. I didn't have any job etiquette at the time. I apologize, for my behavior then, but I didn't know, that I needed to give a 2 week notice. But I'm glad I didn't, because I needed to fail forward. I didn't want to have somewhere to go back to that I later realized and thinking Crow Rich was even a thing, failing forward, burning the bridge in a good way. So I did not go back. And I remember going to get my real estate license. I didn't know anything about real estate. In fact, before I could even figure out how to get my license, I quit my job. How backwards was that? But that's just how I operate. I became the rookie of the year. For 20 years, I was with one company for 20 years, and I was doing good, Lisa. I had gone from good to great. But sometimes your great can become good again. I want to repeat that again. Sometimes your good can be your great can just be good again. And that's where I was. I was very complacent. I was thinking about retirement. I was 39. I wasn't ready to retire. I needed new energy. See, that company was a good company, Lisa. It took me as far as they could take me.
Right.
And now it was time for me to get into an energy. And my good friend Stormy Wellington and I were on our way to look at a house. And Grant sends her a video and says, "Hey, I got 2 tickets left, 10 grand each." I'm like, "No, girl, tell him 8." She's like, "No, we're gonna pay to play." And we get there. We're in the front second row. Very unique. We were very intentional. We were gonna meet some people. Well, when you sit in those seats, you get a special lunch. And so there I see Elena Cardone. I said, "Well, I'm not waiting for anybody to introduce me to her. I don't even know if she remembers this." I said, "I'm going to introduce myself." So I get up, I go introduce myself to Elena Cardone. By now she's in EXP. I am aware because other people had been telling me she's in EXP, but it really wasn't about EXP at the time. It was really about connecting and really supporting women on their journeys. And for me at that moment, that was my intention. That was my intention. And we just kind of hit it off, and that was that. Well, Elena had the 10X badass. It was about 25,000. No, it was $25,000.
Yeah.
Can I be honest, Lisa?
Yeah.
Stormy said, "You need to go." I said, "No," because our other friend picked me up late and I didn't get a chance to see Elena. And I didn't really know what she was about. I wasn't getting ready to pay $25,000 and miss what she was about. And so I didn't sign up. But then a call came from Grant Cardone's office and they asked me to be on this real estate summit. It was weeks later. I wasn't even thinking about it.
That was the minute that she had put a target on you, just so you know.
I didn't know that, though.
She called me and we had talked about who's going to be the summit because I had recommended Ryan Serhant. And then she's like, "And we're going to put this, Grant's going to put this Claudienne on." I'm like, "Who's Claudienne?" She's like, "Oh, we're going to get her. We're going to get her."
And she got me. She got me. And she said they wanted somebody that was not with the XP, so it was perfect. Somebody that was a top producer that was perfect. Check mark. And 30 minutes after that call, Lisa, I said, "I'm ready to go." How amazing is this? I'm ready to go from good to great. I remember calling my husband and said, "Listen, I kind of made a decision. I know I didn't consult with you, but he said, 'Claudienne, you go for it.'" I said, "Well, there's a thing that Elena's doing." I didn't know nothing about what 10X Badass was. My husband says, "Go, I'll pay for your ticket." I said, "Great." I loved it, and that was the end of that. I met Brian Colhane. I met Christy. I met Rosemary, who's now my partner.
I love Ro. I sat next to her at Ryan Serhant's house
yes,
3 weeks ago in New York, and we had dinner with Ryan.
Yes,
we were Ryan,
so excited.
Mm-hmm.
And so I became I literally in 30 minutes, at least I want to say this. I did not tell my team of 30, I think I had 13 or 16 people on my team at the time. I did not tell them I was coming to EXP because I did not want their confusion to taint my brain. And I'll tell you this, you got to really, truly believe. And you taught me this, Lisa, on the 10X Lady stage. You said, in the absence of courage, do it scared. I want to repeat that very slow. So I want you to write this down. In the absence of courage, do it scared. So it doesn't mean that fear is not involved. It means to get beyond the fear, just take a risk, take a chance, and get it done. And because of you, Lisa, I have been able to add another 10 people to my organization. And it's not just about adding people to the organization. The training we have is remarkable. The energy is remarkable. And I don't care if you're not in real estate, the energy here in this entire platform right now should take your business and whatever you're doing from good to great. And so, you know what? I met with them, her and Brian Colhane on Saturday while I was in Houston for an hour and a half and said, say no more. What I loved about Elena is that she just simply, she had just gotten her real estate license. She didn't know a lot, Lisa, but she's a billionaire. She was humble about it. She says, Claudienne, I don't know everything that there is with EXP, but just if you just believe, I promise you, we're going to take this ship into a good, great direction. And I love that about her. She moved herself out the way. She had no problem, edifying her partner, Brian, you, Lisa Colhane, and the rest is history. I'm here.
Yeah, and you're here. I know. And, okay, so Claudienne, so this is about mindset, okay? And, so I kind of prepped you a little bit before the show, and I said, I want people to walk away tonight with nuggets. Like I have got, I've got my walkaways for tonight. They're here in my notes. It's actually in my book outline, right? Chapter 1, how to conquer a negative mindset, or anyways, how to have a mindset that will survive anything, right? And everything starts with mindset. Because if you don't believe it, if you don't believe what can be done, it's never going to be done. Right. And so, God, there's just so much to say about you, but what are you going to tell the people out there? They might be in a state of confusion. They might be in a state of fear. They might be in oh, well, maybe I shouldn't be in real estate anymore. Maybe I should quit because I'm reading the newspapers and things are going to get bad. Now I'm panicked. What happens when you panic, y'all? You get paralyzed. When you get paralyzed, you can't sell. You can't prospect. You cannot. You cannot expand when your mind is retracting in fear. How do you expand? So Claudienne, nobody better than you to kind of lead that conversation.
Even though it's been my thing for 2022, I think back, Lisa, to all the negative, all the I can't, all the the colored girl, all the look. I got white friends now. It's exciting. I get to tap into different energy, and I have to say that because people will make you think that you're doing something wrong. So the first thing I want to say, and I've always had this as a rule, if the answer is no, let it go. If the person, place, or thing no longer serves you, and I don't mean rubbing your feet, I mean if it is not reciprocated. See, Lisa, our relationship is reciprocated. You are doing something. I'm on your platform. I am on your stage right now.
Right. You'll always be on my stage, front and center.
That's a reciprocation. And I'm able to help grow your empire. We are reciprocating like no other before. And so guess what? We are attracting each other. Okay. So guys, if the answer is no to the person, place, or thing, let it go. Do not be afraid to know what's on the other side. See, Lisa, a lot of people say it's not greener on the other side. How do you know? You've never been. Go try it out. And that's what I did when I decided to join business with you. I said, let me go try it out. What's the worst that can happen? I fail and fail forward and do it again. But I'm not failing forward, though. I'm really moving in abundance. So I'm excited.
Okay.
So that's number one. If the answer is no, let it go. You got to plug in. See, this morning, Lisa, I'm still really in my gym clothes. I was not going to work out. But you know why I worked out? My husband at 5:30 a.m. works out every morning. He doesn't nudge me and make me because sometimes he gets that side of me when I'm asleep and he knows not to bother me. But subconsciously, he keeps doing it over and over and over and over again. He gets dressed and he gets to go to work at a school that we own from K to 12, all boys. So I get to see that. And in my subconscious, I wish I can do that. And so I get excited. And then I'm plugging into Stormy this morning. And the girl got on her workout clothes. So what did I do? It's because I was surrounded. Brian Colhane is in our group. What did he post this morning? Never miss a Monday. Lisa, it's who you surround yourself to. I was on text message today with you, Brian, in our group. I was on Instagram with Stormy. I got to see my husband. See, we have different strengths. I get up and go. He processes. and it's registering with me today. Something hit me today. He has been trying to get me to write something 3, 6, and 9 times a day. And today it hit me. And today I started. He's going to be proud. See, when the teacher is ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will always appear. I hope he doesn't think that it is in vain that he is doing it. I hope you don't think that it is in vain that you are doing your Pilates every now and then you're sharing it with us in the group. I hope Brian doesn't think it's by accident that he posted his 10X vehicle at the gym this morning. It moved me to go work out. And physical mastery will help all the other important. It's going to help my marriage. My husband's going to look at me. See, I called my husband, Lisa. I got to tell you this story. It took him 30 minutes to get in the bathroom the other day. And I said, wait a minute. It took him 30 minutes to come see what I was talking about in the bedroom. Oh, no, Claudienne, you got to do a shift. I got to get the booty back up because gravity will pull everything down. And I got to get on my A game. See, it's not just for real estate. It's for my own health and well-being. You know, I have babies now, Lisa. I started over 26 years later, and I have babies. Sometimes I got to carry them. I don't want to be tired. I don't want to be tired when my agents are calling me for my help. I want to be able to be ready. I want to be ready. So surround yourself with greatness. And again, if the answer is no, let it go. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. Don't say, oh, what am I going to miss out on? If I would have done that and stayed at my last company, Lisa, look at, I'm on with Tarek El Mousa.
I saw
on his show. I'm on Lisa Copeland's show. I get to rub elbows and be at Elena's private dinner party.
Yeah.
Wait. I get to be on the owner, the founder of EXP Realty's podcast.
Yeah.
If that's not big, I don't know what else to tell the people.
I know. But everything about you, but I mean, Claudienne, like when you look up leader in the dictionary, like there is your picture. Like so guys, in our organization, like our leaders, there's thousands in our group, but the leaders, the top performers, and hey, let's be real, y'all. You don't get to be called a leader in our organization if just because, you were the top Fiat dealer in the world 10 years ago. Like nobody cares. You're a leader when you're Lisa and you're Claudienne and you've brought a bunch of people to the company like she and I have that we're icon agents, like that we have the performance, like we have, in the words of Elena, we have the stats, right? So when you have the stats, you get to be put in with the leaders. Yeah. Right. And that's what's so important. But you're the one who gets us going every single day. You're challenging us. Why haven't you done this? I've done this. Look what I'm doing now. And it's like, man, like to keep, I got to keep up with Claudienne. I mean, all of us feel like that, right? And that's a good push, but it isn't a push in a bad way.
Yeah.
And I asked you the other day, I said, so what is your take? What's going on? Claudienne's in Florida. If we didn't say that already. I go, what's going on in Florida? Talk to me about the market there, whatever. And you're like, you know what? I'm expanding. I'm getting billboards. I'm hiring more agents. I'm doing this. And so when other companies, like you turn on the news and Redfin's laying off and Zillow's laying off and the mortgage companies are laying off, Claudienne's like, hell no, I'm going out. I bought 24 billboards. They're going to be up all over Florida saying I am hiring.
Listen, let me just say this. Grant talks about going strong in the paint. When my son played basketball, it was always great to see you, the point guard and the two. He'd shoot those threes like no other before. In fact, I went to his game last weekend, and I saw him still shooting those threes. He's 27 going on 28. When I say, Mario, you got to get in the paint sometimes. You got to get in the paint and get in the ruffle. And so you can't afford to fail. Let me tell you something. If you didn't tell me all that stuff, I wouldn't even know. We don't turn on the TV around here. I don't have TVs in the bedrooms on purpose. I do not want to be in the mix of what is. I don't want to be worried that Zillow bought Realtors. I don't even remember what they bought. And everybody was just panicking. And I'm like, y'all should be excited. What were we panicking for? And so listen, disconnect from the negativity. I don't even really want to know about it. But I'm thankful that I do, because now I'm just going to go stronger in the paint. I remember 2007, 8, and 9. They were lessons for me. See, I remember our company picking up so many mom and pops in a good way. They could not survive the market because they did not have the capacity. They didn't have the features to scale. They didn't have that stuff to scale their business. And I already know that, Lisa. So what do I prepare to do? I don't just prepare to talk to onesies and twosies like myself. I'm talking to big companies. You saw it today.
I did.
I'm leveraging. I'm
Yeah.
going harder. I listen, as long as this mouthpiece works, I got my two hands. Some people don't even have that. And you're like, whoa. You're working out every morning. Talk about the guy that we just met at the summit with no legs.
I know
Just
it.
killing it. So I'm just telling you guys, don't sink with the ship. Don't sink with the people on the ship. I like Rose. Rose was on the show. What was the name of that? The show Titanic.
Oh, Rose, yeah.
I remember them interviewing Rose when she was like 90 something. I was amazed. I was like, people are still living from the Titanic, and she told her story through the Titanic. Don't listen. All I gotta say is this: when everybody's moving left in fear, just go right. Just take the other road to success. Follow the people and follow people with success. Success shows clues. Follow and repeat. Lisa, I don't really create this stuff on my own. I follow and repeat. If I remember I saw Grant post 10 things today. I saved it. I sent it to my marketing company. I say copy and repeat. Copy and repeat.
Right.
Elena's doing something. Copy and repeat. She's got an intake form. Copy and repeat. Add my swag, but copy and repeat.
That's right. That's right. You know, and that's just it. Okay, so you know, how do you keep now? I mean, I know you, so I know how part of what you do. Like, you know, I look at, you know, because I see the picture of you working out. You know, you have legend and legacy. Legacy is your new baby girl, who, by the way, hello, she is your mini me doppelganger. Aww. Does everybody tell you that? Oh,
sometimes.
Oh my God, those pictures you posted yesterday, like she's so cute. I just want to squeeze her face. And then Legend, so Legend's 2, right? And Legacy's about 6 months old?
No, Legend's only 20 months, and Legacy's 4 months.
Oh my God. Okay, so you have all that going on. You have a couple hundred people on your team. You got that going on. You're in high demand company-wide. You know, for podcasts and for leadership skills. And, you know, did you ever imagine that when you came with us, and this is, I swear to God, y'all, this is for everybody. And this is not a recruiting thing, but it's just such a good story. Like, did you ever imagine, because, you know, you are the sum, we are all the sum of the people, the 5 people we spend the most time with. Now, I didn't come up with that. I've got good friends that have written books about it. It's been out there forever, but I believe it to my soul, because the 5 people I hang out with, 4 of them are more successful than I am, I would say, you know, and the other one,
I mean, be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, don't be the smartest person in the room, right? Like, it doesn't do you any good to downgrade with the people you hang out with. So I mean, do you feel like that when you came here and you came with all of us, it was like, okay, now it's like we all push each other, and we don't compete in a way like nah, but it's like, okay, now, like, guys, here's the new goal. Here's what's going on. Here's what we have to do as an organization. And if we don't hit the goals, guess what? Everybody's watching us. See, we are so public in what we do, not only within our own company, but within the entire industry. And so, you know, and so we're always striving to go bigger and better, and, you know, and do a show at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, where we still show up. And again, there is no sell to this thing. We're not asking you to buy anything. We're not asking you to do anything. I don't care what company you're with. If you're with Remax or Coldwell Banker or Keller Williams, I don't care. We need to, and you talked about this the other day, and it really got me thinking. Our job as real estate professionals is to level up the industry as a whole, because as things get tighter, you know how smart people are sometimes. They're like, well, I don't want to pay a real estate commission. I can do this myself, which those are always the ones I laugh at. It never ends well, people. Never ends well. You would not go defend yourself in court. You would not do your own brain surgery. Hopefully you don't do your own taxes, because if you make enough money, you should never be doing your own taxes, right? There are people out there that are trained and paid and licensed. You don't want to be your own doctor. Like, why would you try to handle your own real estate transaction? You know, but, you know, when it comes to, you know, leveling up and all the things that you say, I mean, I would love to have you speak on, talk to us about what it did for you when you joined an organization of people that just demand excellence. Like we don't stop. We don't quit. We don't stop. We're always putting our wins into this group. And it's not like, oh, hey, I did this, so what have you guys done? It's like, I've done this. And then, you know, someone will say, man, it's time to jump up. It's time, right? So what do you have to say to the audience about that?
You know, it's funny because I remember doing my first meeting at the 10X the building,
Yeah.
and it was well attended. Over 100 people showed up, and the lady said, "What's the conversion rate?" And I said, "Oh, that's good. Let me go back and look at the numbers." And so from that day on, I always say, "Let's see what the numbers are." See, I knew what I could bring to the organization. I didn't focus, Lisa, on what the organization could solely do for me. I said, let me look at my leaders. Let me look at my upline. Who are my partners? Let me see what their goals are and see how I can help them get to their goals. So I took the focus off of me for a minute, and I said, okay, Elena is my partner. She brought me into this organization. I know that she wants to grow one of the largest, most successful real estate
Not
organizations.
one of. She would be very offended right now if she heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah. She wants to grow
The
the
largest.
largest. And
Yes.
she would say, Claudienne, do you know the difference between the word a and the? And I had to look it up the other day, right? The largest real estate organization, most successful in all of EXP. See, I have to know that to be able to understand what role do I play in Elena's life? What role do I play in Lisa's life? Brian Colhane, he has poured into me like no other.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just go down the list. Brian, what can I do to help make your job easier for you? If he doesn't answer sometimes, I said, Brian, what can I do to help you? Here are my strengths. Use me. And I show up, Lisa. And let me tell you something. I've been on a Zoom at 6 on the opportunity call. I got on the Wi-Fi challenge #2 at 7. And now I'm here at 8 with you. Let's not even talk about the rest of the day before that. And so I just keep going. I keep going and I keep going and I keep going. Stay plugged in. It's not that I don't get tired. It doesn't mean that I don't sometimes doubt myself. But then I show up. I come to 10X ladies. And then I hear Lisa say, in the absence of courage, do it scared.
That's it.
Like if I was not in that space, watch what happens tomorrow, Lisa, when I post. It is going to be an amazing day for us. And that's what I think about. The law of reciprocity, the law of being able to reciprocate. See, I don't just come into the 10X organization. I don't just come into the Colhane party. I say, what can I do to help strengthen this organization? Mr. Glenn Sanford, what can I do to help build this organization? And that's what I do. That's a mindset I come in with. And then I like to share my goals. You know why, Lisa? Because once they're out there, the universe has to bring it.
You got to do it.
Has to attract the right people to me. And so I'm excited.
Yeah, no, it's good. You know, one of the things that you and I talked about when I did your show and a training with you for your organization was, you know, that we believe that real estate agents, we are the economic stimulus of this country right now. Okay, guys and gals. So if you're out there again, I started on that talk track and then I swear I lose things, but we are the economic stimulus of this country, the real estate agents. So if you're out there, I don't care who you're with, right? If you're watching this, share this out, tag one of your realtors, and just remember that Lisa Copeland and Claudienne Hibert Smith told you tonight that if it's to be, it's up to me, Grant Cardone, 10X rule. But if it's to be that this country doesn't crash, recess, and go backwards, or that you don't recess and go backwards, it's going to be up to you. So you've got to change the narrative. You have got to absolutely make things happen. You've got to believe that you've got the power, that you're one agent. You might be sitting in Oklahoma and you might be sitting in Nevada or California or Florida, Wyoming. I don't care where you're sitting, but you're out there and you've got the power of your, what we call in real estate, your SOI, your sphere of influence. So if you create a positive narrative and if you make the decision, your mindset that you're going to expand during this, that you're going to help more families with home ownership, right? Then you are going to win this game. You're not going to be back there with the naysayers, you know, and with the people that are like, oh God, you know, Fox News or CNN or ABC told me it's going to be a bad year. It's going to be a bad week. It's going to be a bad day. It's going to be a bad month. Well, guess what? If you believe that, it's going to be. It is. End of story. And so, you know, and so it is about the mindset. So Claudienne, we've got a few minutes left and I want to open it up for questions before I give my final takeaways, which are from the book. And, you know, I saw my good friend Chris Martinez on here earlier, and he helped me with my last book. He's in the automotive industry, and he's going to be in my next book. And anyways, I talked to him today, and I literally called him and I said, please give me a pep talk. I'm writing another book. Y'all don't even know how hard it is. I do not use a ghostwriter. When you read something from Lisa Copeland wrote it with editors, but you know, it's like pep talk. A book is 40,000 words, and 40,000 is a lot of words. So it's a lot of thought. It's a lot of energy. So anyways, I want to see if there's any questions out there right now for Claudienne, because I said, I asked you guys to hold them to the end. And so if anyone's got a question, if you would just throw it right now in. You got, Claudienne, you're getting amazing feedback. Like, people love you. People love you. People are saying it's facts. You're on fire. This is good. This is amazing. Thank you so much. You know, anyways, so I'm going to give you my key takeaways for a mindset. And then Claudienne, I'll let you close it out. But, you know, takeaway number one, I'm reading from my notes, you'll never succeed in a down market if you read the press and buy into the naysayers. We've talked about that already. Number one, right? Tactic number one. Number two, you must create your own reality and manage who and what you listen to. So who and what you listen to, okay? And so that means, we lost Claudienne here. There she is. And so that means, like, you have to control, y'all, who do you bring into your environment? Like don't just hang out with everybody. If you're in an office situation, you know, don't go hang out at the water cooler. Because I have you know, I'm going to say this, and I might get shot by some agents out there, but if you're sitting at the office, you're not selling a house, right? You don't need an office. Offices are just for people who aren't out working. I'm sorry. That's what I believe. That's why EXP was such a good fit for me, because we're a cloud-based brokerage. I don't need to be sitting in the office, sitting around talking to people, you know, that I don't align with. I sit and I talk to people all day long that I do align with. And we're not in the same office. I'm in Texas, Claudienne's in Florida. I talk to her 10 times a day. Okay. I don't have to be sitting next to her eating donuts from the mortgage company that brought him in, you know, sitting around talking about what happened, right? We're out moving and shaking and making things happen. The next one is, you must take control of the narrative with your clients and your team. And guys and gals, this is going to be critical for success. This is going to be critical for conquering the shift, is that you've got to take control of the narrative. Now, you can't talk just to talk. I mean, I spend an hour to 2 hours a day now reading, going through the news. You know, I like Reuters on Twitter, because Reuters is what all the news media outlets use, and then they put their spin on it. And you know, and I actually kind of like Yahoo News. You know, it seems to not be one way or the other; just kind of seems to, you know, throw out some stuff there. And then so I get the facts, and then I do more homework on it, right? And I anticipate ahead of time the people I'm going to talk to, and I anticipate what their fears and their concerns are going to be. And so I'm going to have something to come back with that will alleviate those, and that will hopefully move them in a direction that they can move forward, right? It is, you know, everybody doesn't need to buy a house right now. There, I said it. Not everybody needs to buy a house right now, but there's enough people out there that do, okay? There's enough people out there that do. And then the last one is, you must be crystal clear on your goals and manage your daily activities. You know, manage your daily activities. I see people burn more daylight than it's unbelievable, you know? And so, you know, so Claudienne, those are my takeaways. And, you know, we're going to be wrapping this thing up, but, you know, I mean, I want you to end this with a Claudienne pep talk mindset. Every agent in the country needs to see this. They need to hear from the top producer, somebody who has been through good times, bad times, both personally and professionally. And today she's on top of the game. She's on top of the world. She's on top of the business. She's, you know, one of the greatest thought leaders in our entire company. So close us out, Claudienne.
The first thing I say, Lisa, is, you know, people, you got to dream. It's free to dream. You know, there are a lot of things that cost a lot of money, but dreaming is free. Dream big, dream wild. Just over what you can even think or imagine. Start there and then write it down. You know, there's something when the pen, you'll notice I never really take notes on my phone. I always gotta look. I'm taking notes from you. Notes, and I'm on the platform, on the stage. You've got to write the goal and the dream down. And what I want you to do is add a date to it. I want you to add a date. Tell me when you're going to, tell yourself, When are you going to accomplish the goal? See, Lisa, there's a reason why I know by December 25th, 2025, I'm going to be making $1 million a month. All I do then is go back and reverse engineer what I need to do. That's why you see me work so hard, because I know what I need to do and I have the date already stamped.
Oh, good. And let me ask you, you're not worried about a recession? You're not worried about that
You
cutting into your paycheck?
know what makes me different? You know what makes the difference between somebody who's successful and not successful? Their ability to keep going, their ability to push through, their ability to just, it's not that I'm special, Lisa. It's just that I get up and do the work. There's really no secret sauce. And when everybody else quits, I take the road that's going right and I keep going. I keep going through the challenges. I keep going through the challenge of my mom having Alzheimer's and screaming, and I don't even want to start telling you about that. I keep going. When the kids are up both at 4 a.m. and my husband's out of town, my nanny's away for the. I just keep going. I keep going.
You
And
do.
I write a date, Lisa, of when I want to accomplish it by, and then I write the plan. See, when you do that, the universe starts to conspire with you. It starts putting Lisa Cohen in my life. Copeland in my life. It starts putting Elena Cardone in my life. It starts to bring me all kind of stuff in my life. And you forget about, stop thinking mindset, like it's mindset, but you gotta really believe. Lisa, I gotta show you this. Can you turn the lights on the way? I gotta show you this before we go. This is off script. I did not plan to move from
okay, out there, if you guys are watching Claudienne right now and you just love her as much as I do, just throw a heart in there, throw a yes, all the above. Like, she's so amazing. So we're going on a tour.
There's checks.
What are those checks?
$12.25. I'm going a month. And I don't stop there. I keep going. This is my mirror. I gotta brush my teeth every day. So I put it where I come every day. There are 3 checks on my mirror. Why 3? Because I want to make it consistent. I will have the largest real estate organization in eXp Realty, netting me $1 million per month by December 31, 2025. And I'm willing to give for it my time, my brain, my 20 years of real estate service to my agents. See, it's not even just about real EXP. People say, well, why do you invite other people to your Zooms? I'm sick of people not respecting our industry, Lisa. I have a degree. I'm smart. I chose to come be a realtor.
Yeah.
So you got to write it down, guys, and make it plain. This is not a joke. And then you start having things like this behind you.
Okay, I saw that earlier and I thought, Claudienne's frozen. I thought you were on.
And you get to be on stages.
Yeah.
So I'm just so passionate. You know, you did a Zoom for me the other day, right?
Yeah.
You were on my stage the other day. And there was an agent from Keller Williams. I didn't care that he was from Keller Williams.
Yeah.
He inboxed me. He says, Claudia, you don't know me, but I've been following you for a year and a half. I've been stuck. I've been thinking I want to do something different. But you said something to me. You said something to me, and you said, Claudia, you said, in the absence of courage, do it scared. He said, you changed my life. And because of you and that message, I was able to just pick up. He was able to submit a $1.7 million offer that helped him to cap at his company. It's not just about us, guys. It's about utilizing the tools and elevating where you are. I don't care where you are in your life.
That's right.
And then you repeat that affirmation every day. You're going to repeat it every day. This is not something I made up. This is something that I've read 3 and 4 times. Wait, let me see if I have the book. I've got a bunch of books here. Let me just see if it's over here. It's on the counter somewhere, my husband says. But it's out of books like Think and Grow Rich. And then I start to develop my mastermind team.
Right.
Who are my leaders? Who can help carry the journey? I have a new rule, Lisa, and I'm going to shut up after this because I could talk all night.
We love you.
It's the
New rules.
15-5 rule. It's no longer the 80-20. It's the 80-15-5 rule that I have adopted. My good friend Hoss Pratt sent it to me, and I said, this is confirmation. I've been thinking about this. I knew it was more than the 80-20. See, 80% of the people won't do anything. 15% of the people will do something. And the rest of the people, the 5%, will be the superstars. But in the midst of the 80-15-5, meet people where they are. And that is where I am in my season. I don't care that you're a new realtor and you're just coming into this industry. You could be like Gerline. You could be like Rosemary, who just literally, she was a dentist hygienist. She got a real estate license, Lisa. She's doing more business than people do full time.
I know it. I said, she was at Ryan Serhant's house sitting next to me. And she was like, I'm on your team. And I'm like, you are? I'm like, that's amazing. And she's like, well, Claudienne brought me in, and I met her at 10X Badass Ladies. I'm like, I know exactly who you are now. And she's like, yeah. And she told me this story. And she said, I'm doing so well because I have the greatest leader that I could have ever had, the greatest mentor, and that's Claudienne. And she is crushing the game. And had never sold a house before in her life.
She just listens and implements and tweaks.
Yep.
Listen, implement, tweak. And she just does it over and over and over again. And so I don't care if you're new at what you're doing. You're supposed to take I don't care what industry it's in either. You can take these same principles and apply it to anything. And I promise you, if you just commit 90 days, see, I have a problem with committing to exercise. So I got to stay plugged in. Real estate comes to me easily and effortlessly. Working out, and I have to tell myself this, working out comes to me easily and effortlessly. And boom, just like that, Lisa, I'm 30 pounds down, and y'all ain't ready for the new Miss Claudienne.
I'm telling you, I've been seeing you on Instagram. If y'all are not following Claudienne Hibert Smith, it's Hibert Smith. You got to make sure you get the whole thing in there. If you're not following her, and she and like one of her best friends, Stormy, and Stormy's just a whole nother story of an amazing woman. But if you're not following her, you need to be following her on social media. I mean, she'll have you working out. She'll have you drinking the best stuff ever, because, you have another business too. Go ahead and put a plug into it here. Your health business.
Yeah. So, Stormy and I are getting ready to do the new HR, the new health and real estate. She invested $5 million with Grant Cardone, and she is tapping into the real estate market. But let me tell you this, what we're about to create, Lisa, is just energy above all. And so listen, tap in, you're following me, DM me Wi-Fi, DM me Lisa Copeland, and I'm going to know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm going to get you plugged right into where you need to be, whether it's you get your health life together or you come in and dominate the real estate market. What I do know for sure is that we all need our health, Lisa. We all need our health to be able to do whatever it is that we're doing in our industry. And listen, you're amazing. I've heard your story of your accident just recently, and I'm glad to see that you're back in the hills, back strutting, and back being the gorgeous Lisa that you are. Listen, it's just amazing over here.
It is. It's good. Well, anyways, everybody, we're going to bring this thing to an end. We're going to let Claudienne get back to her family and her life, and all of you who tuned in tonight on Instagram, we're not on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Twitter. Thank you. If you're catching the replay of this, I'm telling you, you're going to want to listen to it from front to back. Claudienne Hibert Smith, thank you so much. I'm so grateful you're in my life as my friend, as my business partner, as my inspiration. Oh my God, inspiring. Totally. I love you. Good night, everybody. Hey, every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. You just wait. It's all about conquering the shift. And I don't care what brokerage you're with, who you work with, but we are going to help you do better, go bigger, and conquer the shift. All right, Claudienne. Love you, honey.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.